ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
So help you God?
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
A new president is in the White House tonight. Joe Biden has officially been sworn in as the 46th president of the United States. And Kamala Harris made history as she became America's first female vice president. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze reports the new president wasted no time getting right to work.
It was the moment he's waited for his entire political career.
I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
Joe Biden sworn in as the 46th president of the United States and delivering a speech pledging to unite a divided country, reeling from health, political, and economic crises.
To overcome these challenges, to restore the soul and secure the future of America, requires so much more than words. It requires the most elusive of all things in a democracy: unity. Unity.
It was a ceremony of firsts. Kamala Harris making history, becoming the first woman, Black American, and person of South Asian descent to be vice president. And in a Capitol building still scarred by the mob of pro-Trump rioters, a special honor given to Officer Eugene Goodman, who physically stood up for democracy.
And at this hour, my friends, democracy has prevailed.
The new president then laid a wreath at Arlington National Cemetery at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. He was joined by former Presidents Bush, Clinton, and Obama, but not Trump, who skipped the inauguration. In an emotional moment with the new First Lady, Biden arrived at the White House, ready to get to work. He immediately signed 15 executive actions, many aimed at undoing Trump's policies, including rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, putting an end to the so-called Muslim ban, canceling the Keystone XL pipeline permit, and imposing a mask mandate on federal property. Tonight, there were no inaugural balls, as is tradition, an event taking place virtually instead because of the pandemic. Yet another testament to the enormous challenges ahead for the new president.
There isn't anything we can't do if we do it together.
The president and the vice president weren't the only ones to take the oath of office here at the Capitol today. 3 Democratic senators also were sworn in, giving their party control of the Senate. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, the Capitol.
And just an hour ago, new First Lady Dr. Jill Biden is thanking all of the volunteers and workers who made the inauguration day possible.
As a National Guard mom, I'm grateful for our service members, first responders, civil servants who have put in hours upon hours of work to make sure that our inauguration was a reflection of the pride and promise of our nation.
Dr. Biden tweeted that message tonight. She will be making history. It is the first time a First Lady will have a job outside the White House. She plans to keep teaching at Northern Virginia Community College. Dr. Biden also taught there throughout her husband's time as vice president.
Former President Trump is now at his home in Florida. Before his term ended this morning, he gave a farewell address to supporters.
Always fight for you. I will be watching, I will be listening, and I will tell you that the future of this country has never been better. I wish the new administration great luck and great success.
Trump suggested he will still be a public force, saying, quote, "We will be back in some form."
One major decision this afternoon: the Biden administration has halted construction of the border wall. It was one of over a dozen executive actions by the president today. Our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura has more on the actions the White House has taken on immigration.
This is video from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection website of construction along the U.S.-Mexico border. CBP says they've completed more than 452 miles of the new border wall system. The wall and border security was a big focus of the Trump administration. Trump made several visits to the border during his presidency to see and highlight the progress on the wall, even visiting the Texas border to do so on his last full week in office. President Biden put a halt to the work Wednesday. The president signed a proclamation stopping funding and construction of the wall. Pedro Rios, a human rights activist and a director of the American Friends Service Committee, calls Biden's decision a step forward.
Border walls don't work. In fact, they create a human rights disaster when they funnel migrants across to very dangerous and treacherous terrain that has led to an increase of migrant deaths.
Biden also took action to fortify the DACA program, which protects undocumented immigrants who came to the U.S. as children from deportation. Biden has promised to introduce an immigration reform bill that includes an 8-year pathway to citizenship and allows more refugee admissions. Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
New at 11 o'clock, 3 soldiers were killed when a U.S. Army National Guard helicopter crashed tonight in upstate New York. Authorities say the crash happened in Mendon, about 20 miles south of Rochester. Investigators are trying to determine what caused the medical evacuation helicopter to go down. New York's Division of Military and Naval Affairs says the crew was on a routine training mission.
Back here at home, fire crews were busy across the county today attacking 2 wind-fueled brush fires that threatened homes. The first in Rancho San Diego, and less than an hour later, another in Carlsbad near the Agua Hedionda Lagoon. Our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala joins us from Carlsbad with a look at how dangerously close the flames came to some homes.
This was definitely a big scare for so many people as this fire came dangerously close to homes. Fortunately, though, fire crews were able to get a handle on things very quickly and stop this fire from spreading before it could escalate.
Way too close to home.
Smoke filled the air Wednesday afternoon as the Park Fire in Carlsbad spread in a canyon dangerously close to homes. 2 days of powerful Santa Ana winds meant fire crews were prepared. Several agencies quickly responded to join the Carlsbad Fire Department in the attack from the ground and the air. The close call prompting evacuations, including from Adams Street to Park Drive and Highland Drive. Alyssa quickly rushed home to make sure her dog, Ruby Lou, was okay.
I just ran in and grabbed her, and our house is okay right now, but I was just so worried about her.
Less than an hour later, fire crews had stopped the forward rate of spread after the fire burned about 3 acres. By 6 p.m., evacuees were let back into their homes as crews mopped up.
No structures or homes were damaged. We are 100% contained at the moment.
The Santa Ana winds have caused problems across the county. Just before the Park Fire, crews kept a brush fire from spreading in Rancho San Diego. The Campo Fire was reported on a dry hillside on Campo Road just before 1 o'clock. The gusty winds pushed embers to the top of palm trees and the flames came close to homes, but there were no mandatory evacuations.
It's a canyon, it's steep, the wind at the right time with the right temperature. You just about had disaster today.
I just rushed home as fast as I could. I was terrified. I have my cats, we don't have children, so I wanted to rescue them.
The busy day for fire crews did not end there. Later in the evening, several small fires ignited minutes apart in Lincoln Park on Imperial. Thankfully, the winds had died down and the flames didn't have a chance to spread. All 3 incidents across the county are under investigation. No homes were lost or damaged and no injuries were reported. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Now let's check in with meteorologist Leah Pizzetti to see how the windy weather is changing as we head toward the back half of the week. Leah?
Kim, it is changing. That is certainly right. And that's the good news. We have seen these gusty winds for the past couple days. And so finally, they are starting to calm down. You can see in about a half an hour from now, we'll still see some gusty winds inland and for our mountains. But as we watch overnight and into tomorrow morning, they calm down, much more manageable as we head into the next couple of days. So this does mean that our high wind warnings have expired. Now, all we are continuing to track is this flash flood watch that only has about another hour left. That is because of rain that was working its way into the eastern part of the county. You can see it has lightened up now after a couple of those yellow spots, those more moderate rainfall was moving through the region earlier today, but that will also dissipate in the next couple of hours. But more rain chances are heading our way in the next couple of days. Coming up in just a bit, I'll time out when we're going to see more rain.
All right, Leah, thank you. There is a bit of good news on the COVID-19 front. An internal memo from Health and Human Services shows new COVID cases and deaths. They are actually leveling off in a week-to-week comparison nationwide. Still, our situation remains dire. The U.S. has surpassed 400,000 deaths, and the Biden administration is faced with this very tough task of turning the pandemic around.
We need to make sure that the country, the people understand that this pandemic is now going to be addressed with science, with trust, with transparency.
President Biden's team is also aiming for 100 million vaccines in his first 100 days in office.
The batch of the Moderna vaccine that had been pulled out of circulation can now be used again. About 330,000 doses had been held back. That's after 6 people had allergic reactions in one day last week at Petco Park. Well, state health officials say their investigation showed that batch is safe, and providers with those doses can resume using them.
And here are the latest local numbers. The county announced 1,700 new cases today, our lowest number in 2 weeks. However, there were also a record 65 new deaths, breaking the previous single-day record of 62 set on New Year's Eve.